And welcome back. So are you ready for a frightful night? Ghosts and ghouls and goblins and witches and vampires and people wearing funny costumes, too. Yes, it's an annual rite. Having some scary good fun on Halloween. Now, among the parties and the costumes are all the haunted houses, too. Well, for the 21st year in a row, one of Long Island's most beloved haunted houses is back with some new features. Yes, the Franklin Square Horror. It's been chosen among the best Halloween attractions numerous times. And its creator, his wife, and 19-year-old son, they built the horror house right inside their Nora Bay Street home in Franklin Square.
21 years, and you know, I like to see everybody get scared and stuff, and it's cool.
Yeah, it is cool. Now, the actors are all volunteers. They work for free, like this It Clown, pretty spooky. And many of the actors are neighbors and friends. Joseph Alaco is a local artist who designs many of the hideous creatures himself. And there's a good cause behind it all. Donations from visitors on Halloween night to get a good fright are passed on to help to pay for the all-important, much-needed field of further autism research. And so, Joseph Alaco, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Rich.
You're always smiling, and yet you have the scariest thing around, right?
Yeah, no, a lot of people tell me that.
So what's new this year? Was it the Clown? Is that new?
The It Clown is new this year, yeah. I mean, I always do new props every single year, something new. But that's the big thing this year.
And who plays that?
That's a friend of mine, Roger.
He was
my
scared.
friend Roger.
He popped out, scared the heck out of me when I went through.
He actually wants to hand out red balloons this year.
Just like the movie.
Just like in the movie,
yeah. And of course, that's super popular this year because the movie was remade. Popular, yeah. And this time they said the clown was actually scary.
Oh, very scary. But you know what? He's not going to be the only clown there. There's going to be a lot more out in the street, entertaining everybody. So it's going to be pretty cool this year.
And so what else besides it to frighten you with a big, hideous smile?
Well, what I'm doing this year is, because it's the 21st year, I'm trying to take the best rooms that I've done in the previous years and combine them all into my haunt this year.
Now, let me ask you, guys don't sleep there, right? I mean, you do have some part of the house that's left for you?
Of course. I actually do this on the side of my house and in my driveway.
Can you imagine that? If you had your... I don't think I can handle it. There's it again. Here are these folks. That's your wife, and that's your son, Joseph.
That's my son, Joseph.
Tell us about your son.
Joe was born with autism and cerebral palsy. So it's, you know, it's always a rough go of it. But, you know, I see a lot of the good that these different organizations do for my son. And with my Halloween event, I said, you know what? This is an opportunity to give back to these organizations for what they do for all these kids. You know, they're all special and they all have needs.
So the focus even kind of changed. I mean, you did this. We'll talk about why you do this. Sure. But then you had a cause that added to it.
Yes.
And people write about your place all the time.
Yeah,
there are people who are dedicated. They'll come from other states to come see your... I've noticed that.
I have people call me from New Jersey, from Connecticut. You know, it's... I had a guy come from Germany one year who visits his parents on Christmas. And he saw our site, and he said, you know what, I want to come down for Halloween to check this out. So, I mean... Yeah, I have people from all over.
Yeah, and then the swinging bodies gets me, and the chains, and it's so dark in there.
It is.
And all that stuff in your face drives me nuts.
Yeah.
But I'm easily frightened, I guess, by this kind of thing. But, you know, I'm curious, how has this house brought together your family with the community and maybe even others who are affected by autism?
Sure. Well, I get calls left and right from plenty of parents with autism and cerebral palsy. As a matter of fact, we're going to open up a little early for special needs kids.
Oh, that's great.
In between 4:30. We're going to let them through before any of the actors get there. Yeah,
I mean, some people are worried that some of these houses can be so gory.
Right.
Because now that's the trend, to make them so gory. And for your $30, you get really gored out. It's not really like that here.
No, not at all.
This is family friendly.
It is. It is. There's a little bit that here and there. You know,
it's a haunted house.
Right. You know, for the teenagers. But you know what? I don't go above and beyond because I want it to be fun for everybody. And I don't charge admission.
That's right.
I just ask if you can donate. If you can, great. You know, it goes to a great cause.
And that's great. Because you're spending some serious bucks on this. I mean, you told me off camera it's thousands of dollars, but you don't like talk about that because you're kind of a humble guy.
Right.
You know, does your son get involved in putting together the attractions?
He does. He doesn't do too much, you know, of course not the labor, but, you know, he's, oh, Dad, I have an idea. Can we put this here? Can we put that? You know, and I always welcome anybody's idea.
My wife asked me, she goes, is his wife into it? Because, I mean, I don't know, my house being a haunted house, how does she feel about it?
No, she's into it. Linda's into it. She actually gets involved. She sits under the tent. I mean, we sell T-shirts that say Franklin Square Horror. We take the donations. We give candy out to the kids. Her and my mom, Judy. You know, that's their job. That's what they do. And Yeah, they make sure everybody's having a good time.
And they are. And you should see it on Halloween. Well, people can get a chance to see it on Halloween night. There's quite a crowd that gathers. I've been there. And, you know, before your son was born, you started this 21 years ago. He's 19.
Yes.
So why did you do it then? What in the world got you into saying, you know what, I think I'm going to start my own haunted house?
Just the creativity of it. You know, I always loved Halloween, always loved being an artist, you know, into creature features when I was younger, all that stuff. You know, I just, it was just something that I loved to do.
What's your occupation? Explain to folks what you do.
Well, I own Joe Faux Designs. I do faux finishing and decorative painting.
So a lot of these are your own creations, right? You do it yourself?
A lot of them, yes. Oh, yeah. I mean, people will donate props to me, you know, that they're going to throw out or something like that, and I'll buy a bunch myself, but I always try to make it my own by repainting them. And
there's some like that this year?
Yes, there's a lot like that.
You can count on that. Do you still have the chainsaw? Because that was always very popular.
That's me. Since I've started this, I've been chasing the kids around with the chainsaw up and down the block, and, you know, they'll actually chant when I have my little break and I go in the back, chainsaw, you know, they chant, and I have to come back out, and, you know, so there's no rest.
So how did you come up with the name Franklin Square Horror?
Well, we live on Long Island, and there was a pretty popular haunted house in Amityville.
Have the Amityville Horror, yeah.
So, you know, I says, you know what, Franklin Square Horror has a nice little ring to it, you know, and I was always a big fan of that story.
So why do you do this?
I do it for the love of Halloween, and I also do it for the love of children with autism and cerebral palsy. I mean, that's what it's grown into. So, you know, for the good cause. But, I mean, I do love, you know, having the opportunity to show some of my stuff.
Almost too bad that it only comes once a year, right?
Yeah, it's true.
So what's the deal come Tuesday night, Halloween night? What do people do? They want to come there? Where is it? How early will it? When will we see these graveyard creatures pop out?
Everybody starts, my actors and my props and the music, everything gets turned on at exactly 6 o'clock. And it's going to go from 6 to 10 o'clock because it's a school night.
I don't know. I didn't see the forecast. I don't know. Hopefully you get...
No, it looks like it's going to be good.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's going to be a beautiful night.
It's going to be a nice night.
But that never stops people anyway, right?
No. I mean, it rained one year, and all I heard was popping noise, and I looked down the street, and there was hundreds of umbrellas popping out. So I said,
well, it doesn't keep it from coming out.
No,
or Joseph Alaco and his family there. Thank you so much for what you do, along with your wife, Linda, and your son, Joseph, and lots of other family and friends, creators of the beloved, if not somewhat feared, Franklin Square Horror. So, Joe, have a beautiful time.
Thanks, Rich. Thanks for having me.
I had to practice that. And before we go, nothing scary here, rather the heartwarming homecoming for a local veteran who gave his all in combat.